Now it's time for TIPisodes with quick tips you should know. Techniques you can implement into your workflow right here on A Tale, oh yeah, A Tale of Two Hygienists.
Hi, this is Stephanie Botts, practicing dental hygienist and ergonomics specialist. Today's TIPisode is sponsored by Techniques. I'm so excited to share with you not only some ergonomic tips to keep you healthy, but also how some of the products from Techniques can help you practice ergonomically as well. So a big thank you to Techniques for your generous sponsorship of today's TIPisode. I like to say dental hygienists are the ultimate multitaskers. We have a lot to think about during the day. We're trying to care for our patients, stay on schedule, collaborate with our team members, maybe dealing with technology or equipment issues. The list goes on and on. It can be easy to get so caught up with these issues that we aren't paying as much attention to ourselves as far as behavior and equipment like we should. I tell my clients constantly, we have to put ourselves first when we're practicing. I know it sounds counterintuitive since we are in the business of helping people, but if we aren't healthy and functional, we won't be able to help our patients or fellow team members. Not to mention, we will be tired, in pain, and experiencing less than optimal life quality. So slowing down and being mindful of our habits and our instruments and equipment is crucial. It not only helps us be better caretakers and excellent clinicians, but this awareness also honors ourselves and our health, which translates to a happier, healthier life. When we are talking about ergonomics, there are two things we consider: the individual, that's us as clinicians, and our environment, that's everything else in our area that isn't us. The environment includes your stool, the patient chair, that includes the patient, our delivery system, our operatory layout, our instrument supplies, everything. And adjusting our environment to fit us, the individual, is the essence of an ergonomic mindset. How often, though, do we charge into the operatory and immediately get to work? In these situations, we are forcing ourselves to adjust to the environment, which is how many of us get injured. Picture us leaning and bending to see number 14 instead of adjusting the patient correctly so we can hold neutral posture. So let's talk about our environment. How often do you take a second to evaluate your equipment, your stool, your patient chair, your op layout, or your instruments? All of these things make up our environment, and if we aren't adjusting our environment to support us as clinicians, we will suffer in the long run. Something that doesn't get talked about often enough are our instruments and how we care for them. We use our instruments all day, every day. This may be an element we take for granted, but the quote-unquote health of our instruments is crucial. How sharp they are, how worn down, and if they are being maintained properly. An ergonomic instrument, so by the way, this includes your mirror, should have a nice wide handle. It should be hollow, which makes it significantly lighter, and it should be evenly balanced. The handle is a crucial element because studies have shown that we use significantly more pressure and pinch force when using an instrument that is narrow and heavy versus one that is wide and light. I know this is true when I use a pen. It's much more comfortable for me to use a pen that is wider than a skinny one. My hand starts to fatigue much quicker when using a skinny pen because of the increase in pinch force. Excessive pinch force contributes to musculoskeletal disorders such as carpal tunnel syndrome, bursitis, rotator cuff injuries, tennis elbow, and more. And for the most part, these are all preventable. So don't discount musculoskeletal disorders. They are the number one reason why people in the U.S. are on disability, and these rates are even higher for those of us in dentistry. These are injuries that take us out of the profession, so please do not discount musculoskeletal disorders. We also want to be sure our instruments are sharp and are being replaced when the tip is no longer functional. So I've done some temping recently, and some of the instruments I was seeing, I just couldn't believe it. And my hands started hurting very early in my day because of the excessive force I was using. Plus, they're just not effective. So keep them sharp and replace as needed. We also want to be sure we're using products that will help maintain the integrity of our instruments to make them last as long as possible. When temping, I also saw some instruments that were showing signs of rust and pitting on the blades, which is harmful for many reasons.
It made me wonder what the office was using to clean and disinfect their instruments, and also what kind of sterilization process they had. How often do you notice what kind of enzyme cleaner you are using for your instruments? I have to admit, before I started my ergonomic business, I thought they were all the same and there wasn't any difference from one brand to another. Of course, I found out I was wrong. It's important to have an ultrasonic enzyme cleaner that will actually help maintain the life of your instruments. This keeps them sharper longer, which helps you, and it also saves the office money on new instrument costs. One such cleaner is from Ergonomics. They have their 4+ enzymatic cleaner. This cleaner has 5 different enzymes that help to break up the debris, and also a surfactant that helps the debris from resettling onto the instrument. So it's a liquid that you can either get in a bottle or individual dose packs. This liquid dissolves and mixes very quickly in the water as compared to other tablets or powders that seem to take forever when you're in a hurry. And because it mixes so easily, it doesn't leave any residue in the ultrasonic. I like this product because you can use it different ways. You can use it in your ultrasonic cleaner or by itself as a pre-soak if the instruments are really dirty, like after a tough SRP or a surgery where there's a lot of bioburden on them. It's a powerful cleaner that removes deposits much quicker than some of the other brands, which saves you time. One unofficial aspect of ergonomics is time management and stress reduction. If we're in a busy office, we need to keep the instruments turning over as quickly as possible. We do not have time to run and rerun the instruments in the ultrasonic because the cleaner isn't good enough. This product is unique because it has a neutral pH, meaning it doesn't corrode. So goodbye to the pitting like I was seeing at the temp office, and it will not lead to rusting either. This neutral pH will keep the instruments sharper longer and will extend the life of the instruments in the office, which saves valuable money. They also have another solution for us. If you work in a busy office with multiple docs and hygienists, instruments can easily get backed up while waiting their turn to go into the ultrasonic. Monarch has a safety tray with a lid, which is a holding tub you can put these instruments into pre-soak while waiting to go into the ultrasonic. I'm sure you've noticed, but the longer the dirty instruments sit there on the counter, the harder the debris will be to remove. You can also keep this tray in each operatory and use it for transport, which is a safer solution than having loose instruments on our tray when heading into sterilization, which the CDC recommends, by the way. They recommend transporting instruments in a covered container. Also, a side note, I would really recommend using the thick utility gloves when in sterilization. It took me a little bit to get used to them, but now I can't work without them. I feel so much safer when handling instruments, plus it saves on gloves and also reduces waste. There are so many things to think about during our day as dental hygienists that we don't need to worry about what cleaner we are using for our instruments. Knowing there is one out there that hits all of the areas we need it to is great. Please check out Ergonomics for this and many other products that can help us practice safer and more efficiently.
For more information about myself and my company Posture Pros, please visit my website at posturepros.net, and also links for any of my social media profiles will be linked in the show notes.
A tale of two hygienists.